Okay, good evening Concord Township, and welcome to the Concord Township Board of Trustee meeting for May 6th, 2020. If you're joining us online or on the phone, if you could please mute your device unless you are talking. It would help facilitate the meeting. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Dawson, the roll call, please.
Mr. Dondorfer.
Present.
Mrs. Lucci.
Present.
Mr. McIntosh.
Present. Okay, we are going to move into the approval of the minutes for the April 15th, 2020 regular trustee meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the April 15th, 2020 regular trustee minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Elected officials report. Our fiscal officer, Amy Dawson.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer. As of April 30th, we were 33% of the way through the calendar year. The treasury balance for the 18 active funds within the township treasury was $6.7 million. The balance includes $2.3 million in funds set aside for specific projects, mostly road construction at this point in time. Year-to-date expenditures were 24% of the amount appropriated, and revenue is at 46% received for 2020 so far, so we are well within budget. Also, I wanted to mention that I received the tax budget information from the auditor this week, which I'll be preparing. And every year we have to do a public hearing, and that is on the inside millage and the outside millage. So we do need to schedule a public hearing. I would recommend May 20th at 7:20 p.m., which is right before our meeting. How does that work?
That's
Fine.
fine.
Okay, we'll go ahead and schedule that for 7:20 then on May 20th.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We'll have a short public hearing. You can decide at that point. It's basically paperwork that's required every year.
Right.
In order for us to show that we do still need those levy funds. So,
Okay.
okay?
Thank you, Mrs. Dawson.
Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Trustees report. Mrs. Lucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to offer again our support for everybody going through this crisis, the ongoing changes. We appreciate everybody being flexible, proactive. We thank our departments for continuing to provide great service. And, just remember, please try to educate yourself, stay grounded, try to grow as a person right now, utilize this time to the best of your ability, remain positive, do what you can for your neighbors. If you can support our local businesses, please do that. On a separate note, I did receive a call from a concerned resident about EMS services and whether or not their request for where they are being transported was going to be met. And I did explain that this does depend on the type of emergency that it is and whether the receiving hospital can take that person based on some of the COVID processes out there. So I did, make sure he knew that he can still request where he wanted to go. Besides that, I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and Happy Nurses Day. And that's it.
Mr. McIntosh.
Good evening. We have had a busy couple of weeks. I've taken some complaints and had some dialogue about some zoning complaints. I did hear from a current business owner in Concord that's looking to build a facility. Just reached out to me, and I believe he spoke with Ms. Freeman in the zoning office the other day. So that's kind of exciting. Wants to build a little facility here in Concord. So preliminary conversations at this point. Had some complaints regarding lighting of Parkside Elementary, kind of taking a little bit of a look at that. And I do know today that the service department was out there planting some trees along the walking path that we helped the Summerwood HOA put in. I swung up there for a lunchtime walk with my dog to say hi to the gentleman in service, and looked like they were doing a great job taking care of that. I do want to take a minute to discuss the fire department project, and just to clarify some things. We've had some questions come our way with respect to the article that was published in the News Herald, as well as just that project in general. So I wanted to clarify a couple things. I want to first say that with respect to the quote where I was quoted in the article, that my comparisons in square footage have been to proposed, what the original proposed station here on Town Hall campus was, contrasted with current operations, just to provide that bit of information as far as the size of the facility, and so much that it was questioned last year. So just because I mentioned that and contrast the fact that some of that is decontamination spaces does not mean that this board of the township is moving forward with any plans of specific. That's just to clarify a point as to how we plan to utilize new facilities. This board has pledged to meet with the community and engage on that, and we're committed to that. The situation with COVID has obviously delayed that. My preference would be to have it an in-person meeting. Depending on how long this stretches out, we may consider an alternate to that. The trustees, and we're just discussing it, so stay attuned for updates on how we may proceed with that. We do value resident input, and we do want the opportunity to engage with the community on that. But I want to reiterate, there's no decisions that have been made as far as anything, and certainly we haven't gotten to the point of discussing financing, which I know is one of the biggest concerns going forward. I'd also like to echo Ms. Lucci's comments regarding the COVID situation and crisis. I know we've all been under quarantine for quite a while, and as this thing rolls around, there are varying opinions in the community, and it's getting very apparent by social media that we all have it. And I just respectfully request that we all consider our neighbors and community and just be respectful of it. You may have opinions, and I certainly believe people have the right to exercise their own personal choices, but we do have laws and things we need to abide by, and above all, we just need to respect. If certain people believe it and act in accordance, it doesn't mean that they're wrong or anything. We just need to take care to that point, and I hope we can continue as a community to remain strong and work through this. I don't think this is anything to be afraid of. It's something that we will get through, and
Right.
So that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I would also, agree with the other trustees and echo their statements as far as the community. We hope the community is well and safe during this time. We are here to do anything we can for you, so feel free to reach out to any of us to help if you need something. We are in constant collaboration with officials at the state and county level, following the guidelines and getting updates weekly that we then get out to the community, so everybody is aware of what's going on, and we will keep you up to date on the latest and most current information as we go through this situation. It is a good time, as Mrs. Lucci said, to reconnect with family and neighbors, and to have some form of grounding so you can stay somewhat level through this situation. So we are here for everybody. If anybody needs anything, we hope you are all well and safe. And I would also like to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are out there this weekend. Enjoy your day. With that, I did have a few residents contact me since we last met. I spoke with a woman had some concerns about the condition of Hermitage Road and the speeding that's taking place there. So we're going to work on some traffic enforcement for her through the Sheriff's Department and a speed trailer out there. Had a couple zoning complaints that I forwarded to Heather Freeman that she's looking into. We did have a safety concern that came up in one of our neighborhoods. Apparently there was a residence that was being utilized as a rental for gatherings during this pandemic time. Instead of the public forum, it took place in a private forum in a residential development. We have worked collectively with the local HOA, as well as collaborating with law enforcement, township, and our legal representation, as well as the health department, to address this problem. We are on top of it, and we are collectively looking to take some initiative in the near future to hopefully prevent this from occurring again. But we are on top of it, and we'll continue to stay on top of it to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents. With that, we will move on to department reports, and with administration, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer, members of the board, Mrs. Dawson, good evening. I'd like to start off, I need to bring an item up from the floor for a vote. On May 12th, the Ohio Attorney General's Office is conducting a public records training webinar. I will be attending this session on behalf of the trustees. This is a required training pursuant to ORC section 109.43B and 149.43E1. So if I could get a quick vote from the trustees granting me permission to attend on your behalf, that would be great.
Mr. Chairman, I move to have Administrator Rose participate in the training on our behalf on the 12th of May.
And I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A bit of good news. I don't know if anybody saw the headline in today's paper, but it was regarding the census. And Concord Township was mentioned in here. There are 2,245 local governments between cities, villages, and townships. We are ranked 39th in census response.
Great.
So the state average is 61.9%. We're at 78.6%. We strongly encourage all residents who have not yet completed the census to get that done soon. Census data, filling out the census, it helps our community. It helps bring dollars to the local level. And for those that have already completed the survey to put us in 39th place, thank you very much. With regard to the COVID-19 virus, township administrative offices at Town Hall are open to the public. The community center remains closed to the public, as does the fire stations and the service department. We've installed plexiglass barriers at our counters. Employees are wearing masks when they're away from their assigned workspaces. All desks are at least 6 feet apart. Public visitors are strongly encouraged to wear a mask when visiting Town Hall. And we also encourage everyone to continue to conduct business via phone, fax, email, regular mail. We continue to utilize the drop box outside the entrance door for anyone who's wishing to drop off paperwork, so we appreciate your cooperation in that. Any questions or concerns regarding the COVID-19 virus or the actions taken in Lake County, those questions should be directed to the Lake County General Health District. There is a link on our webpage that will take you directly to the Lake County General Health District's COVID-19 update, and you can take it from there and get frequently asked questions answered. There's contact information if you have questions and so forth. A few other items of note: we continue to stay, as Mr. Dondorfer mentioned, we continue to stay in regular contact with the Lake County mayors and managers, and we are all continuing to coordinate during our regularly scheduled conference calls, and I think that's worked out very, very well. And finally, please remember there are local restaurants that remain open for takeout. We encourage our residents to shop local and support our Concord restaurants when considering your food choices. That concludes my report, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. On to the fire department, Chief Sabo. Thanks, Chief.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
For the month of May, Concord had a total of 97 EMS events with 65 transports. We had 3 fire events inside of Concord. We had 1 vehicle fire, and outside of Concord, 2 structure fires. We gave mutual aid to our neighbors 11 times and received mutual aid 14 times. Of note, during the crisis, or the COVID pandemic, I thought it was interesting. We've always thought our run numbers were dropping, and that is true. So I pulled some numbers for January through April of last year. We were at 833 total calls. January through April of this year, we're at 792. So we are seeing a drop most significantly in the month of April. So we'll see how that plays out in May. But we are seeing a decrease in call volume. The Fire Prevention Bureau had a total of 28 inspections, accounting for approximately 49 hours, with 20 passed inspections, 3 passed with comments, and 2 passed with discrepancies. We still have 3 pending inspections. These are a combination of consultations and follow-ups on past failures or discrepancies. They're working towards correction and repair. No failed inspections and 3 plan reviews. Hours spent on plan reviews for submission to the Lake County Building Department is about 6 hours, and they spent about 10 hours in continuing education in the month of April. I want to thank Mrs. Lucci for fielding the question about the transports. We were concerned initially during the COVID pandemic that we were going to have some difficulty getting patients to the hospitals of their choice. However, that's kind of not played out the way we thought, and we have not had any issues getting patients to the hospitals that they prefer when it's medically necessary.
Right.
So
Good.
it's business as usual,
Good.
Which is good. I also want to extend a very happy Mother's Day to all the moms in the Concord Township and all over. So it's going to be a wicked weekend, but we'll see what Mother Nature brings for us. And I also want to extend, on behalf of Concord Township Fire Department, a very happy Nurses Week. The nurses in the hospitals are working long hours, and they truly are heroes in our eyes, and appreciate everything that they're doing. So we want to thank them as well. So appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief. On to the Service Department. Service Director Tim Brown.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The construction season's in full swing in Concord. The Lancaster Road project, the entire road has now been removed. It's moving along as planned. Concrete stabilization was performed on the west side about a week and a half ago. They did a proof roll after the stabilization cured after 5 days, and it came out excellent, according to our engineers. The east side was ripped out this last week and has been stabilized today. So in another 5 days, we should be able to do another proof roll, and they're expecting good things there. Trimore is going to continue with the installation of curb drains and curb inlet repairs, and they're planning on pouring the concrete end of next week, Thursday or Friday. So we should be well ahead of schedule there.
Great.
The Cali Woods, Alexander, and Bridlewood resurfacing is underway as well. Friday, 5/1, crews began the grinding and removal of the top layer of asphalt. The other areas under construction too would be Concord, Hamden, Morley, and Pinecrest. Those are county road projects, and they're all seem to be moving along well too. On April 24th, the Service Department celebrated Arbor Day with the planting of 2 trees at the Old Stone Schoolhouse. The trees were donated by Holden Arboretum and Klein Nursery. Our crews have been out continuing on our ditch maintenance. We've had some down trees in the river off of Tulip Way that we removed, and we back charged the stormwater management for the removal of those trees. The yard waste dumpster located at the Service Department has been very busy. Since the 13th of April when we started, we've had 4 dumpsters hauled away. We get a steady flow of residents taking advantage of that service we provide. So in closing, the Service Department would like to tell everybody that to have a happy Mother's Day and have a safe and healthy spring, and remember to contact us with any concerns or anything at www.concordtwp.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Zoning Department, Heather Freeman.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So during the month of April, the zoning department processed 25 tonight at our zoning commission meeting, we had a public hearing for an application to rezone approximately 29 acres of land off of Colburn Road from R1 to R2 RCD. The zoning commission ended up voting to recommend approval with modifications on the district change and the preliminary plan. We will be transmitting that to the trustees later this month, so you can schedule your public hearing. And we'll do the legal notification as required per the Ohio Revised Code. Next week on Wednesday, our BZA will be holding a meeting at 7 o'clock. We're gonna have 4 new cases to review. The detailed agenda can be found on the township website. Go to public meetings, click on BZA, and you can find all the information on how to listen and or participate during the meeting, including the agenda. And finally, as Mr. Rose indicated, Town Hall is now again open to the public, which includes the zoning department. We still are encouraging the use of the Dropbox or mailing in your applications. We are there we are there during the day to process your applications, but we do encourage you to call with questions. We can email you things in advance to expedite the process once you are here in the building. And with that, I just want to say thank you, and I hope everyone stays safe. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather. Recreation Department, Deborah Esker.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Deborah.
Well, things are certainly different for our recreation department these days. COVID-19 has altered our course for the spring and summer, and even though the community center and the Old Stone School remain closed to the public, and classes, events, and programs and rentals are either rescheduled or postponed or canceled, your Concord Township Recreation Department is still hard at work for our residents. Starting this month, kids are encouraged to enter our virtual kids coloring contest. Here's how it works. Kids draw and color pictures with a Send a Hug theme or a Concord Tough theme, or both. Parents take a picture of the masterpiece and email it to recreation@concordtwp.com. We forward that artwork to local seniors or safety and healthcare frontline heroes to brighten their day. This contest runs through July 31st, and kids can enter as many times as they wish. The names of the artists will be included in a raffle drawing for gift cards to local businesses. And details are on the website, or just contact the Recreation Department with any questions. If you're looking for a way to help those in need, consider donating to Concord Township's Canned Food Drive. Drop off your donation at the receptacle located just outside the back entrance of Town Hall. Donations will be delivered to the St. Gabriel Food Pantry and other local food pantries in need. Items most in demand include peanut butter and jelly, canned tuna, and canned soup. And the drive is going on now through May 31st. Our senior initiatives are blossoming. We'll begin to send virtual hugs to Concord senior citizens in May, and we expect to receive lots of these hug pictures from Concord kids as a result of that coloring contest, and we'll forward those on for unexpected splashes of happiness. We're also expanding our seniors page of the Concord Township website to include more links to local senior services. And one important link is the Lake County Health General Health District's We Thrive Together initiative that lists the many ways that seniors all over Lake County can engage in social interaction. And right now they're concentrating on how seniors can stay socially active in their homes, and they're providing programs like phone-in bingo and trivia games, attending virtual cooking classes and exercise classes through Zoom, and participating in chat groups about an attitude of gratitude and much more. We're also loading up our senior webpage with fun and informative at-home activities like easy stretching exercises to get your body moving, local birds to watch and feed, healthy recipes to try, daily gratitude lists, crosswords, puzzles, word searches, and the hot new trends on coloring pages for grown-ups. All of these initiatives will be included in our new and improved senior newsletter that'll be going out in June. And there's another group of seniors we want to acknowledge and honor, and those are our high school seniors. Teenagers who are graduating high school this spring and summer have had their lives marked by 2 unprecedented milestones. They were born just after the 9/11 tragedy, and now they're finishing their high school experience in the midst of COVID-19. It's unclear if any of them will be able to wear the traditional cap and gown and walk across the stage to cheers and applause from family and friends. So we're going to honor our seniors by asking them to share with us a beloved graduation tradition. Announcing Operation Grad Cap. Take a picture of your decorated graduation cap and send it to recreation@concordtownship.com along with your name and high school by June 30th. We'll create a collage and post it to our website and social media platforms for you to share and for all of Concord to see. Again, details are on our website, or just call the Recreation Department with questions. Although we may not be able to gather together for big celebrations right now, we can still move forward with two of our most beloved Community Day traditions. Nominations are now being accepted for Concord Township's Citizen of the Year. Do you know someone who's made a positive difference in our township? Download the nomination form and send it in by July 6th. Applications are currently being accepted for our traditional Community Day scholarships. And this year we're able to offer 3 scholarships in the amount of $1,000 each to graduating high school seniors who reside in Concord Township. These scholarships are made possible through the generosity of Lake Health and University Hospitals. And those forms can also be downloaded from our website. Excuse me. We continue to make progress on our Images of America book honoring Concord Township's bicentennial. If you have a family photo or an artifact depicting life in Concord Township over the past 200 years, please consider sharing it with us for possible inclusion in the book. Statistics show that during this unprecedented time, Ohioans are visiting parks a lot more frequently for walking and hiking. Did you know that you can access the Metro Parks Greenway corridor through the parking lot of our own Old Stone School? Well, you can, and I highly recommend that you do, because you can do some silly walking. We recently published a post on Facebook giving a nod to Monty Python's silly walking skit, and it went viral. If you're a Monty Python fan, you now have an image in your head of John Cleese and his remarkable flexibility. We challenge you to do your best silly walk and send it to recreation@concordtwp.com. We'll compile the silliness, and you may find yourself on the recreation section of our website. The Old Stone School is located at 7125 Ravenna Road, and the pathway with the silly walk signs is located behind the schoolhouse adjacent to the community garden. I really look forward to seeing those pictures. So although we can't gather together right now, we can still encourage our kids to enter a coloring contest. We can still help those in need by donating to a food drive. We can check in on our senior neighbors and nominate people for Citizen of the Year. We can encourage our graduates to participate in Operation Grad Cap and apply for traditional scholarships. And we can honor our past by sending in pictures of Concord history. We can take a break from our worries by doing a little silly walking. We can still recreate responsibly because we are Concord tough. Thank you so much for your time and attention tonight. Happy Mother's Day, and thanks to all the nurses now and always. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Okay, we are going to move on to the audience portion of the meeting tonight. I would ask to help facilitate this portion of the meeting that we speak individually. We will start off. If there's anybody on the line that has the last name that begins with A through H, if you would speak now and state your name and address for the record.
Denise Brewster, 7207 Alexander Road.
Hi, Denise.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, hi. Okay, yeah, thank you. I'm still new to this whole thing. Anyway, I just wanted to mention, I saw in the paper where men are canceling their concerts, and I know that we're still up in the air on it. Just some consideration for maybe offering a few that people can listen to online. I know we can't gather, but I mean, we're even listening to Disney concerts on TV, you know, or some of the artists. To be able to do that, if it's possible.
Okay.
Just saying.
Thanks.
I wanted to thank the township for pardon me?
I didn't say anything, Denise. I don't know if there was some interference. You're okay.
Yeah, no. Okay. Wanted to thank the township repaving the roads around the township, and I know specifically Alexander and Bridlewood are getting done in Lancaster, so thank you, because it gets pretty beat up. And then I also wanted to thank you for clarification on the News Herald article, and appreciate the opportunity to be able to, you know, still provide citizen input in the near future as we work through this process. The one thing I did want to ask for is have there been discussions with the architect about the size and cost of the station?
Denise, Morgan McIntosh here. I think to the end of I think at the point of taking a look at what has been worked on thus far and challenging them for cost reduction and having some conversation about things that could have been, I suppose, taken out of what if we do this, how much does that change the cost? What if we do that, how much does that change the cost? These kinds of questions have been asked.
Okay. So just trying to get it into some type of a budget, because I know we were kicking around at the end of February, funding and those kind of things, but, obviously it's going to take another look depending on how our financial forecast looks. The other thing I wanted to ask, has there been any word about tax collection, which is usually in July? If that is extended, like a lot of things are extended, like income tax and whatever, does that affect the township?
Denise, this is Amy. Not that I'm aware of. No one has extended any property tax deadlines to my knowledge, and that's what we rely upon heavily. So certainly we'll let you know
I
if.
just wondered because it seems like everything is changing as we go.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and I can have a completely different answer for you tomorrow. But as of today, I have not been informed of anything, any kind of collections dates that would impact the township.
Okay, all right, and then, I could see them like extending the deadline just to help people out, but, they're still gonna be due, just like our taxes, so.
Right.
All right, and then, obviously, you are keeping an eye on size and cost of the stations, but, the citizen input, would be helpful and that's for that, so. All right, thank you.
That's still our plan, Denise, thank you. Anyone on the line with the last name that begins with I through Q?
I guess that would be me, Vanessa Pesek.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hiya, do we have a recorder for this meeting? The transcriber, Mindy?
Yes.
She's listening.
Yeah, she's listening as we conduct the meeting.
Oh, okay, because I couldn't hear a number of people. And for last night's zoning commission, she was able to stop and say I couldn't hear, but maybe she can hear. All right, we had some audio difficulty, but okay, fine. I did want to also applaud Concord for doing so much in these really strange and unprecedented times, making sure that everybody has PPE, ambulances are clean, and that you're keeping the staff healthy and safe. So thanks very much. I think that's really important. In the comments, I heard that you're not making any decisions or moving ahead with plans or financing, but it seems that still we're at the 23,000 square foot plan that Chief Sabo said he was at back in February. And in the article, it says that you consulted architects for designing control zone areas and that sort of thing. So while it looks like you're trying to find ways to decrease the cost, still looks like it's a pretty large building site. And even if you're able to reduce the cost, how are you going to pay for both stations without raising taxes on citizens?
Vanessa, it's Morgan. I've had a conversation with another member of the community, and I made it very clear that we haven't made any funding decisions, and even to the point where I said specifically, I don't know how I'm going to pay for the fire station. So to say that we will or will not, or what we're doing as far as asking residents to pay or not pay is a presumptuous statement to begin with. As far as the size of the facility, we are challenging the architects with respect to that, and I've done a reconciliation, and I think by now we would have had a conversation in person, likely would have had a conversation in person stakeholder meeting where we could have had some dialogue about that and some conversations as far as the size of the facility. The one thing I do want to clarify, or at least say, in my opinion, and it's one opinion, is that when I took a look at the proposed station for Station 1 and I see how the size and what it's used for, I'm going to go ahead and say I don't agree that the facility is too large.
Morgan, you keep cutting out. Could you maybe move the mic closer? I don't know what's going on, but I'm sorry.
The phone, probably. Oh. That's not gonna work.
As far as it goes, sorry.
How's this, Vanessa?
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Okay. As far as the size of the facility, I think we're still in that phase of diligence to understand what is driving it. But as I look at the demands of the square footage based on the analysis and the programming that the fire station spent 2 years working on, year and a half, yeah. I'm having a hard time finding where I cut space. So that's the conversation we're in with the fire department, is how do we shrink this? How do we save cost, and what does it look like? We don't have specific answers from LeMay at this point. At some point when we do take a look at the give and take of it, I'm hoping we'll be able to be in front of the community and having a dialogue about that.
About the size and the programming. Because
Sure.
Yeah.
There are a lot of communities that, they have reasonably sized stations that are comparable, and so.
That's Vanessa. I'm sorry, Vanessa.
The stakeholder meeting so that we can talk about this on the front end.
That's fine, Vanessa, and again, what I want to do is when we have the stakeholder meeting is to have a conversation about square footage and say this is why it is what it is, and then have the conversation about give and take. If we want it to be this size and down to this cost, this is what we sacrifice. I'm going to disagree with you about one thing, and is that there are communities that have comparable stations that are smaller, and that's not true. I toured 4 stations. All of them lack some of the features that Concord is putting in, and specifically the features that they lack that make them smaller are the decontamination spaces and some of the spaces that the fire station set aside for health and safety, maintenance of the breathing apparatus, the filling of that, and the locker area. So our facility has those features at a higher level than a lot of the facilities that have been compared against, so it's not apples to apples.
Right, yeah. What was it at the beginning of the meeting? There's 2,285 political subdivisions, so I'm glad that you were able to tour 4 of them, but, there's probably a lot that we can look at and decide what is, reasonable and what we can afford, and,
Well, Vanessa, I can assure you that we're doing our due diligence, and we are not going to make any rash decisions, and we are going to be responsible as we move forward in this. But we visited several fire stations, and we are going to be reaching out to the community as far as input on the project.
Good. Because in the February meeting, it was stated that maybe Concord could afford station number 1 in building, but then for station number 2, which really needs significant help soon, that would be going to the taxpayers to pay for building that station.
Vanessa,
You know,
Vanessa,
given its current economic crisis, this is not gonna be over anytime soon. I don't see that, you know, being a viable option.
Vanessa, I'm gonna disagree with you. I don't recall ever saying that whatever you just said about how we plan to fund it, there is no plan to fund it. There is no committed order of construction. As you're aware, the plan from last year was to do the facility on one, utilize the old station to temporarily quarter Station 2 and have that whole process. And we're looking at this with multiple options, multiple timelines, and that's gonna spread out over 2 to 3 years. And I'm not gonna sit here today and say that we are committed one way or another to a funding strategy that stretches out the balance of my term that I just started. This is something I'll probably be dealing with for the next 4 years. So I'm not gonna make any commitments now in this meeting about how we're gonna be financing the township for the next 4 years, especially with respect to this project, because costs and all kinds of things are gonna change between now and then.
I absolutely agree. So, I look forward to an early stakeholder meeting before plans are developed, and you spend a lot of money, you know, in developing the plans, you know, only to have citizens say, whoa, you know, look at this, look at that, think about this, and think about that, because we have a lot of really talented citizens here in Concord, and with a lot of good ideas. So I look forward to that, and look forward to eventually, before one set of plans is developed, we have an understanding of how we're going to build both stations, because both are very important to build. So thank you.
Yes.
I have asked that we consider this in full spectrum, Vanessa. We're trying to approach this from the standpoint of both stations, so we are definitely looking at that. And by the way, you know, the contact information for all the trustees and all the departments is on the township website. And as that we are facing this barrier of public gatherings with respect to COVID, I openly invite any residents that want to talk about it to contact the chief at the fire department, Administrator Rose, or myself. We're happy to have conversations. I have plenty of time for that.
Vanessa, are you done?
Oh, yes, I
Okay.
thank you. I'm
Oh,
done.
okay. I didn't know if you had another question. Thank you. Anybody else on the line? Last name beginning with R through Z. State your name and address for the record, please, and go ahead with your question. Is there anybody else on the line? Okay, we will close the audience portion of the meeting tonight. Move on, there's no old business, so we will go to new business. And we need to vote for the April financial reports.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the April financial reports.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye. I move that we offer a conditional offer employment to firefighter EMT Kyle Langer pending background check and physical for the fire department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I move to offer for a conditional offers of employment to firefighter EMT Josh Gibson pending background investigation and physical.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye. I move that we approve the service department's request for summer hours Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. effective May 18th, 2020 through August 29th, 2020.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I move to improve seasonal employment for the service department. Austin Van Pelt at $12 an hour effective May 11th, 2020 through August 29th, 2020 pending a drug screen.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye. I move that we approve the service department's seasonal employee Brendan Sweeney at $12 per hour effective May 11th, 2020 to August 29th, 2020 pending drug screen.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve seasonal employee Cameron Dodick at $12 per hour effective May 11th through August 28th, 2020, pending a drug screen.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that brings us to future meetings and announcements. Mrs. Dawson.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer. On Wednesday, May 13th at 7 p.m., there'll be a Board of Zoning Appeals meeting held here at Town Hall. On Wednesday, the 20th of May, at 6:30 p.m., trustee office hours in the conference room. And at 7:20, public hearing here in Town Hall for the 2021 tax budget. The trustee meeting will be held at 7:30 p.m. or immediately following the public hearing for the tax budget. Would you like me to go ahead and do the community events as well?
That'd be great, thank you.
Okay. As Mrs. Usker said earlier, there's a community food drive here from May 1st through 31st. Please drop off your canned goods at the Concord Township Town Hall in the sealed container. Kids Coloring Contest for Hometown Heroes, May 1st through July 31st, 2020. Information is on the website and in the Summer Grapevine. Citizen of the Year nominations are accepted now through July 6th. And Community Day scholarship applications are accepted now through July 6th. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. In closing tonight, we wish everybody well and hope you stay safe. If you have any questions or concerns or need anything from any of us, please don't hesitate to reach out to any one of us, the trustees or town hall here, our administrator. With that, we're going to conclude the Township Trustee meeting for tonight and have a good evening.